Bueno, Alfredo, mira, agradecerte por la invitación al programa y principalmente a toda la producción, porque la verdad que fue una cena deliciosa. Y también por dar la oportunidad de poder transmitir esta información, que yo creo que muy pocos estamos todavía, de alguna manera, el mercado medio esconde ciertos productos muy interesantes para todos. Y que yo creo que tomar conciencia sobre los beneficios de esta tecnología revolucionaria va a hacer un cambio radical y yo creo que es muy beneficioso para todo el Paraguay. Los vehículos eléctricos yo creo que van a solucionar muchos problemas, especialmente no solamente el problema de transporte que hay hoy, sino los problemas económicos y los altos costos. Eventualmente transportarse va a ser cada vez más barato, cada vez más eficiente, porque la eficiencia tarde o temprano se va a traducir al bolsillo de los usuarios, que somos todos. Entonces, y por sobre todo, una de las cosas más importantes de esta tecnología revolucionaria es que cuida el medio ambiente, mejora la calidad de vida de los ciudadanos y nos hace respirar aire puro, que es algo fundamental para mejorar la calidad de vida de todos. Hoy ya hay vehículos desde $20.000. Entonces, y también con los proyectos de transporte público eléctrico, ojalá que el tren alguna vez, el tren Carlos Antonio López, cuando vuelva a funcionar, las líneas de tren sean eléctricas. Ojalá que el transporte público eventualmente también sea eléctrico y vaya migrando hacia esa tecnología y que esos beneficios económicos y el gran ahorro que trae se traslade al bolsillo de los ciudadanos, que es lo más importante, ¿verdad?
In 1996, electric cars began to appear on roads all over California. They were quiet and fast, produced no exhaust, and ran without gasoline. 10 years later, these futuristic cars were almost entirely gone. What happened? Why should we be haunted by the ghost of the electric car? This wasn't the first time the electric car was killed. 100 years ago, there were more electrics on the road than there were gas cars. For many people, electric cars were the car of choice. They were quiet and smooth and could be charged at home. Gas cars, by comparison, required cranking and produced exhaust.
Well, the reason I am here, I'm so old I remember electric cars when they were around in the beginning. I would have been about 6 years old on the way to the symphony in that darling little electric car. They were very quiet, and it had beveled glass windows. It was almost like sitting inside of a huge lamp. What happened? Why did the gas car win over the electric car?
As the 20th century gathered speed, the electric car lost momentum. Automatic starters, cheaper oil, and mass production gave the edge to the gasoline car. By 1920, the internal combustion engine had won the race for control of the roads, and the modern automobile age was born. Of the hundreds of millions of cars built in the 20th century, almost none were electric. They were sleek, they were fast, and they gave Americans the open road. But as time went on, their number one flaw became more apparent. Smog.
California has the worst air quality in the nation, and it impacts some of our largest population centers.
In my district, we have what is called the black cloud of death that hangs over the port areas and the areas surrounding the ports. We are seeing some tremendously debilitating effects: asthma rates, cancer rates, lung development in children, children not being allowed to play outside.
In 1989, A study found that 1 out of 4 15 to 25-year-olds in Los Angeles County had severe lung lesions and chronic respiratory disease. In 1990, there were 41 stage 1 smog alerts. No matter what kind of car we drive, every gallon of gas we burn adds 19 pounds of carbon dioxide.
Now, you built the prototype for this in your garage?
Yeah, so my garage isn't quite the average garage. It's actually a pretty good machine shop and electronics lab, but yes, I built it there. It's like a 3-channel stereo amplifier that provides the right size sine waves and right frequency to drive the motor for all the different driving conditions. So it is a 100,000-watt stereo amplifier.
Allen's breakthrough power system helped create an electric car unlike any that had ever been driven before.
So they had kept this car also a secret, much better than any other Detroit secret, because it was all developed out here in California. So it truly was a surprise when it was introduced to the Los Angeles Auto Show.
This is going to represent a great step forward for people in terms of commuting to work, from work, if you don't have to go more than 120 miles a day.
Other than the jokes that we made about the wisdom of calling a vehicle the Impact, it was very impressive. It was a very high tech, and it had an interesting premise that we've got this sort of Corvette electric type car, 2-seater, slick styling and all that, and we can make a business out of it. It got a lot of interest flowing in the industry, but it did something else. It caught the attention of the California Air Resources Board.
California's Air Resources Board, or CARB as it was known, saw the electric car as an opportunity to solve another problem.
Since GM had already announced that they were going to produce an electric vehicle before we even adopted the mandate, the electric vehicle technology became sort of the technology of greatest promise.
Knowing a modern electric car was now possible, California regulators took a bold and unprecedented step. They passed the Zero Emissions Vehicle Mandate. The mandate was simple. If automakers wanted to continue to sell cars in California, some of those cars would have to be vehicles with no exhaust.
They decided we're going to ramp it up. We're going to say 2% in 98, we're going to say 5% in 2001, and 10% in 2003.
For the car companies, there were only 2 options: comply with the law or fight it. In the end, they would do both.
The EV1 from General Motors.
The Impact prototype became the EV1, the first modern electric production car from a major U.S. car company in New York.
Believe it or not, that sucker goes. That thing will take you down the PCH so fast you can get a ticket.
I did kind of feel like Batman, you know, that sort of like, and the way it takes off out of the cave. You know, I have this gate that opens and we go.
You get inside and the console is really near you and the lighting is beautiful.
It was quiet.
The car was so fast, it looked like it would outrun its own shadow.
Oh, it was an awesome car to drive.
It was the crest of a wave that we thought was coming in. It was the new thing that was going to, you know, change the way everybody travels.
Other car companies began to comply, often with conversions of gas cars, but with many of the same advantages of the EV1.
I'm not mechanical at all, and I love dealing with my electric car because it's so easy. I plug it in at night, and when I need to drive it, I unplug, drive it away.
They're for people who love the environment.
I said they're just for people who love cars. They're for people who have to go somewhere.
So, well, this is amazing. What you do is with this electric car, Dave, you put the key in and you turn it.
Wow.
And then there's this thing on the floor called a pedal. A pedal.
The exciting thing about this is the cost of operating the car is the same as if you were driving a typical gasoline car, but the gasoline only costs 60 cents a gallon.
You charge at home. It gets about between 70 and 80 miles per charge, which for me is more than all the driving that I need to do in the course of a day.
People started seeing the cars on the road and getting a better understanding of what they could do friends and neighbors and relatives started saying, hey, that's a neat idea, you know, I should get one of those. And we started seeing the momentum building for this and the waiting lists being created for these cars.